Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I know our evenings can be really busy and a little chaotic. I do want to remind you that this is here for you strictly for education, and I'm not here to convince anyone to sell their home. My goal tonight is to help provide you clarity and so that you understand how today's market is working before you make any decisions. Even if selling is a year away, this information can still be useful. Who this workshop is for. So if you're thinking about selling your home in the next 6 to 18 months, this workshop could be for you. If you want to protect your equity, you're feeling unsure about timing or pricing, and you want real answers. You don't want just the hype. So most people that I work with aren't even ready to sell yet. They just want to know what their options are. They want to talk about what their value is. What should they do? What shouldn't they do? For this, homeowners who want to protect their equity and avoid costly mistakes. Nobody wants to do something that they're not going to find a return on their investment. And you don't have to be on a timeline to be here. So today's market reality is that the market has shifted from what we remember. I mean, 20 end of 2020, 2021, even the beginning of 2022, it was very busy, very busy. We were hearing all kinds of things, waived inspections, appraisal gaps. The market has shifted and we are just not really seeing that kind of activity anymore. Um, Buyers are much more cautious, they're much more informed, and homes don't sell just because they're listed. I mean, that's what was happening 5 years ago. Um, Strategy now matters more than it ever has in a really long time. So buyers today are being more cautious, they're much more educated, and they have the time right now where they can go to multiple homes and look at different homes. So they're comparing what's on the market much more carefully than they were. And when we were in our peak years, not too long ago, it was like you went to a showing and you either had to be prepared to write an offer or you had to be prepared to walk away. I mean, unfortunately, we are just not in that same market anymore. So why do some homes sell and others just sit on the market? So most homes that struggle with coming with obtaining an accepted purchase agreement really come down to one or more of these pillars: preparation, pricing, positioning. The good news is that all three of these items are in your control as a seller. Oh, what happened? Okay. So, pillar number one is all about preparation. Preparation is not about perfection, it's about removing the buyer's hesitation. So, what matters most are strong first impressions, clean and neutral presentation, addressing any obvious red flags before a buyer even walks in the door, and helping buyers imagine them living and going about their daily life in the home. Those are that is all about preparation. So we like to pre-pack, we like to take things off the wall. We want to remove any personal property that would be a buyer might think that it's affixed to the house. Um, so we want to pre-pack all of those things and get them out of the way, and as clean as possible, whether that's having I strongly encourage having somebody else clean your home. to give it its best presentation. Um, and buyers, they decide very quickly, very quickly. Sometimes it's from the moment they walk in the house, from the moment they step through the front door. They just get a vibe, they get a feeling, and if they're not feeling it, they're not going to keep going. So our job is to make that first impression feel easy and make the buyer feel confident. The second pillar is pricing strategy. So pricing is unfortunately not what you paid for it, not what you need to get out of it, not what your neighbor's home sold 12 to 18 months ago. Pricing is about buyer behavior and understanding how buyers are searching today. And it's the hardest part. It truly is the hardest and emotionally draining part of the process. And I understand that. But pricing is about how buyers search and compare, and pricing it correctly protects your equity and your momentum. The first 14 days on the market are the most crucial days of any new listing. So, how buyers actually search for a home. Buyers search in price brackets. If a home misses that price bracket, a buyer will never see it. The momentum is lost and reductions often follow. So, the first 2 weeks on the market are what matters the most for sellers. So, if you have your house on the market and it's been on the market for 45, 90 days, 120 days, you really do need to think about, where are you priced? Are you priced because that's what you want for it? Are you priced because that's what you need to get out of it? I think this is really, really important. For me, when I am helping buyers, I price, when I set up searches in the MLS for them, I give them a $25,000 leeway. And it's because I want them to see what is on the market. Maybe something is overpriced, but it checks all their boxes. So I think it's really important, that we understand as a seller how buyers are actually searching. I think that when they're searching on their own, they are, they've got a cap on their search. So if they're pre-approved for 325, they're going to search up to 325. Whereas an agent might push their search to 350 so they can also see what's on the market in that $25,000 range between the top of their budget and a little bit above that. So I think that's really important. Um, Then we'll talk about positioning. Positioning is how your home feels online, and it's before anybody steps inside. So, what matters most is professional photos, professional video, clear buyer focused language, um, strategic marketing, having a strategic marketing plan, to create an emotional connection in the home for the buyer. Because buyers aren't just buying a home, they're buying a lifestyle. And we want buyers to picture their everyday life in your home. So I just want to talk about some common mistakes that sellers make. And some of these I see often is waiting for the perfect time. Well, what is the perfect time? The perfect time to start thinking about selling your home is whatever is going on in your life. Sometimes we know that we're going to be moving, and so we can take these winter months in our area and we can use that time to prep our home for market. Now, if we got a job promotion and we needed to move in 60 days, you're probably not going to have the amount of time that you want to prep your house for market. So in that particular instance, there is no perfect time. Overpricing and chasing the market down. I have seen this time and time again where a property sits on the market. You might have comps that support it, but you have a property that sits on the market. And then the only thing you're doing is you're chasing the market because things are always changing. The real estate market is a living, breathing organism. I say this all the time. So we're pricing your property based upon what has already sold. Okay, that's where appraisers get their value. That's what we use. That's the information that we have. And we can only make a decision so far down the road as far as we can see. So, with that going on, you're thinking about the anticipation, but you don't want to chase the market. Over improving your property instead of simplifying. So, if you are in a $350,000 subdivision, you do not want to do a $50,000 kitchen remodel because you're not going to get that out of it. Your subdivision is a $350,000 subdivision, so your improvements need to be in line with your subdivision. You cannot let emotion override the data of what you actually do live in. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like a pool. A pool is a great feature, in my opinion, right? But if you put in a $75,000 pool, I think the ROI on that is 7%. That's like $4,500 maybe. So strong sellers lead with clarity and not with urgency. The Smart Seller framework is helping when sellers understand the process, everything feels less stressful. Clarity helps lead you to better decisions, and better decisions protect your equity. That's what this framework is all about. What a smart plan looks like. Every strong sale starts with a realistic market view, a preparation roadmap, a pricing strategy, and a positioning plan. No two homes or no two sellers are the exact same. If selling is on your radar, even down the road, some things that I offer: a free home valuation strategy, a personalized marketing plan. I'm sorry, a personalized preparation plan, and a market positioning conversation. I have no pressure from me, just clarity. And this is your time to ask me any questions. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And if you have any questions about selling in the future, I'm always here.